For 46 years, Sue Johnston of Houston, Texas, received flowers from her husband every Valentine's Day. Naturally, she was stunned when 10 months after his death, the flowers kept coming. When she called the florist to report the mistake, she found out that her husband prepaid for many more years of flowers before he passed away. The note read, "My love for you is eternal." Guys, I can barely get through this story without tearing up. Ike, so sweet.
I teared up also, actually. It was an incredibly touching story. And I think, what we could all say, obviously, is how touching and wonderful this story is. But I wanted to have a commentary about it that was more substantive in perhaps a depressing way. And that was that I think that this is the sort of story that our children's children are going to hear a lot less of. Because we have fewer and fewer marriages, both in my country and in yours. And narratives like this are becoming more and more rare. And I think that's something we should think about on this Valentine's Day. And I think we should consider it because I don't think it portends great things for either of our nations. I think marriage is incredibly important. The families that are raised in them and the relationships it builds are incredibly important. And that's what I thought of when I read the story.
Betty, I thought how sad it was. I mean, that her initial response was that someone either made a mistake or that someone was screwing with her. I don't know that I would want to be reminded every year on the most sentimental day of the year of that loss.
Well, it's kind of like, I don't know if you saw the movie P.S. I Love You.
Oh, stop. I can't even talk about that movie.
My daughter loved that movie. I have to say, I'm so shallow. This story just kind of ticked me off because my husband for 2 years running got me nothing for Valentine's Day until I finally had to.
You want to give us all his email? Because I'm happy to forward him.
Not a card, not anything. Finally, I had to just say, I'm going to divorce you if you don't get me something.
But you know what I did, Betty? I took over Valentine's Day because I got tired of that and I got tired of being disappointed. Now, this girl's in control of it and I do what I want to do on Valentine's Day, and I actually think it is a better way to handle it.
I think that's very mature. I think, I kind of had to be a snot about it, I think, really, which wasn't very romantic of me. But now,
Betty, send yourself flowers, I'm telling you. Matt, what did you think about this story?
Yeah.
I thought it was touching. I thought it was nice. I mean, I think there's a little bit of a creepiness element in the sense that you do have to be reminded of the death every single year. I don't know if she's going to start dating again. That might get a little odd. But and overall, I think it was a very thoughtful thing, and it certainly, I'm sure it came from a very nice place.
Ike, does my idea of taking over Valentine's Day comport with your idea of honoring marriage?
No, I think your idea was just so creepy. I can't deal with it. But I was kidding with that. But just in defense of the dead man, I think that most of us have this great fear about when we pass of being forgotten.
Yep.
And I think that in addition to him loving his wife, he just didn't want to be forgotten. And so that's a wonderful way of reminding her about his love.
It reminds me of the Joe DiMaggio having flowers sent to Marilyn Monroe's grave like every week for 20 years.
It's actually kind of zombie-like, isn't it? It's hard to say that story.
I am so practical that if anyone did that for me, I'd be like, seriously? Like, this is what you spent your last few dollars on with flowers? I know that's awful. I'm awful. All right, but our community is great. Betty, Ike, Matt, thank you so much for your time.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Betty, get yourself something nice.
No problem.
Thank you all so much for joining. The conversation continues here.